Good day, everyone. Happy Monday. You excited about tonight, Fernando?
Excited about tonight.
Why are you excited about tonight?
Because tonight is Monday, and at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have one of the coolest guys.
Two of the coolest guys.
One of the coolest guys. Yeah, two of the coolest guys in the show. And the guys from Arc Audio. Your friend, Brian Mitchell, and your older friend, Rod. He always comment on the live show, answering some questions. So you can actually now ask questions. He will be answering live right there.
Yeah, they're coming on to do an end of the year wrap up, talk about all the new products we got from Arc Audio, which we got a ton. I mean, you got the coppers. There they are. There you got the coppers this year.
Yeah.
Got tons of new DSP amps. That's crazy. But anyways.
Tons of DSP amps.
What do we got going on in the Bay today, you ask? It's another F-150. Actually, today's pretty exciting because this is the first float we're getting a chance to do. Because we've never done the float. And now some of you guys are going, what is the float? So the float uses the new direct replacement, this guy right here. And so if your truck has the little tiny 3.5-inch screen, this Kenwood right here, this is the DAX 1050, is designed to come right through that and mount on, and then you get to keep all of your dash kit. Rip your float? Yes. You're jealous. What's up, Mike? So anyways, we haven't opened this yet. We haven't done any of that. We've actually been working on everything else in that. We had another car we had to work on this morning. So this is getting, they have some KS coaxials here, which were wired up wrong. So we took the doors apart, fixed that. All right, listen. If you'd like to put your stereo speakers in by yourself, I have no problem with that. I encourage it. I'm a big advocate of DIY, do it yourself. That's why this channel exists, is to help you guys out. Now, if you go out and you buy the speakers and you get the Metra adapters, or you buy the Metra adapters or whatever, so that you can plug it right in, do yourself a favor and actually do it the right way, okay? So in this case, the kicker speakers come with Ford brackets, which is cool. But then what they did is they ran the speaker wires underneath the Ford brackets and screwed them in flat. Wiring does not need to, you can't compress wiring underneath something. So you have that, eventually that's gonna wear out, you're gonna burn up the sleeve, and it's gonna short out. Secondly, when you turn them on for the first time and all they do is sound like big tweeters, know that you probably hooked them up wrong. For some reason on this, the kicker coaxial speakers have a thin terminal, a fat terminal, and a medium terminal. They have all three terminals on them depending on what you're going to try to do. In this case, the thin and the fat, just like everyone is used to, standard things, are the positive and the negative. But the third one, which is the medium, is there if you're just going to hook up the tweeters. So if you're going to do like some biamp stuff, all right? And so when we heard these for the first time, they were just, I'm like, there's no mid-range. Like, did they blow the mid-range? Then we told them, we took it apart. We're like, oh, okay. So if some of you have never seen what I'm talking about, which it happens, can you recommend a sub for the front sub setup? Something small that'll fit wherever you're trying to put it. Something for here, maybe in the kick or in the footwell. Okay, so check this out. Here is your standard positive speaker terminal. Okay, so we'll set that right there. We'll come down here. Here is your standard negative terminal. Here is a medium. Okay, so when you look at these, they're 3 different sizes. So make sure you plug them onto the right thing and don't screw it up. Otherwise, you won't get the right sound out. It doesn't happen that often, but it was weird. So we fixed it. We ran the wire the right way, drilled the hole through the bracket. Everything is cool. What's up, Lance? Far as power for this, so it's going to get 2 Rockford 10s in a box I don't know which ones. It's getting a 901.5. This guy right here to power everything. So we got that guy wired up. We haven't run the wires yet, but it's done. CNC'd out an amp rack. Loving the CNC. Makes life so easy. Just come in, hit a button. It's already in the memory. Just boom, spits it right out. Life is great. Boom. Boom. So anyways, that's done. Now we'll run all this. And Fernando has the radio out of the dash. So here's this. Where's the bezel?
The bezel is all the way there.
Is it over there? Okay, perfect. So for point of reference, this is the radio I'm talking about. So if you have a Ford, any Ford, that has this hole, and you don't want to spend the money to get the kit, but you want a nice float screen, this is what the float kit is for. So this kit, this guy right here, is going to come out of here, and the Kenwood screen attaches directly to this, and then you still get all of these buttons to do anything you want with. So this all stays the same. Obviously no CD player, but hey, whatever. So you're good. You can still hit these. But yeah, so this is going to go in. So we're finally getting a chance to do one of these. We haven't had a chance to do one of these yet because, believe it or not, a lot of these just don't exist, or they've already done the upgrade in them. That was really popular a couple years back. We did a ton of those with the pack kit. So we'll see. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. We'll show you guys what it looks like. And that way you can decide you do a pack kit, metric kit, iData kit, or you just keep your kit and do a float screen in front of it. Sounds like a good time. What are you trying to figure out?
I was trying to see if we can put the thing over here.
Maybe. Otherwise, we got the Morel towers back out, and we've been jamming out with Christmas music. Oh, thank you, Bobby. We've been doing Christmas music all day today. This is also getting to mic 1. Enjoying the season. You got, what, 2 weeks left before Christmas? I don't know what day of the week Christmas falls on. Thursday. That sucks. How many guys out there get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off? Well, Christmas falls on a Thursday. So we get Thursday off. Then we're back to work on Friday, Saturday. It's like middle of the week. It's going to suck. Whatever. It's the joys of a car stereo guy. Anyways, tonight at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, make sure to tune in. Oh, wow. See, this RR has a regular USB on it. It doesn't have the USB-C.
Right.
So I'm guessing they're doing a running change. And Paul probably doesn't rotate inventory, because why would he? So, RRs. We did one this morning that had the USB-C connector instead of the micro USB or mini USB or whatever this stupid USB is called on here. So, which is nice because all the other pieces have USB-C. So I'm guessing they're doing a running change to make everything USB-C on this, which is really nice. So that makes life a heck of a lot easier. I have a 2015 Civic with right turn and backup cameras. What radio is compatible with that? So you just need a radio that has a dual camera input. That's it. So most, like your Exelon Kenwoods will have that. Most radios now have dual camera input. So I believe they make iData interfacing for the Civics. The one thing, there are a couple caveats to that car, like the rear camera is a super wide camera. There are some wires in the dash that do need to get grounded in order to tell it what you want it to be, because like you can select on the radio. So no one really has great control over that. And the turn signal feature, I believe, doesn't work anymore. I think you just get to keep the camera. Like you can integrate it into the radio, and if you want it, you physically have to turn it on. It's been a minute since I've done one of those, but I don't think anybody makes like turn signal integration into it. think you can just retain both cameras. But if you hook it up and you get the super wide in the back, then there's 2 wires you can ground. I would check out iData and see what they have for that, because they might have, I don't know, but yeah. But they're standard cameras, so you can retain them. I just don't know if you can retain the turn signal feature on them. So, oh, Bobby took off the 19th through the 5th.
What?
I mean, hey, he's,
That doesn't even make sense.
I don't know if I'd want to waste it on Christmas. I think is where my brain is at on that. Like, I love the idea of not working, but if I could get that much time off, I don't think I'd want to waste it on Christmas. I know that sounds... I want to take it off, like, 2.5 weeks later when I go to Mobile Solutions and do the hot rod class.
For 2.5 weeks?
No, 2.5 weeks. I mean, I'm just saying. I want to take my time. I want to go to the hot rod class. I want to go to Knowledge Fest, Master Tech Expo, that kind of shit. I just don't want to sit at home and do Christmassy crap.
Yeah, I stay home.
I know you would. I don't want to. Throat punch. Bass, what frequencies? I have no idea. My sub doesn't do a throat punch, that's for sure. What is the best Fox box in sub you have heard in an F-150? I like Rockford P3s. That's really what we do most, like 99% of the time now. It's deep enough to fit a lot of different woofers. I just like the way the Rockford sound. Yeah, I just like the way the Rockford sounds. Alpine R-types will fit. We've done those in the past. Haven't done those in a while. Just kind of stepped away from those. I don't know why. Probably know why. But
We did another subwoofer. It was like, wow, that's impressive.
what did we do? I don't remember which one it was. Was it the audio controls?
I think that was like a sound down subwoofer.
Yeah, if they weren't ours, I don't know. I don't remember. The Fox box is pretty bitchin', so I mean, almost any woofer you put in that thing rocks out. So, don't have to go with what we go with. Feel free to experiment a little bit on that
Feel
one.
free to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, spend all the monies. All the monies, or not any of the monies. But no, I mean, there's a ton of woofers out there that'll work in that box. So just check the depth and move on from there. I'm a creature of habit, so I kind of just go with what we always do. Have you installed the RF plug and play system in the newer Jeeps 24s? Yes, we have. We actually have the full install video of that in the Jeep that has the new powered roll top. That was fun. So yeah, we've done it. We've actually done it 3 times now, 2 or 3 times now for sure. I don't, because we had to do one not too long ago where he had a power convertible top on his Jeep, the aftermarket, and so we had to swap out the subwoofers because we couldn't do the side subwoofers, so we swapped out the sides for the tailgate box because we just made our own at that point because we're like, screw this. What about kick in your chest bass frequencies? I just rattle my mirror frequencies, 50 hertz. I like 50 hertz all day long. Have you guys did a system in a small Jeep Cherokee full system integration? Yes, you're talking about one of the newer ones. Yeah, we did a front stage upgrade system in one of those not too long ago with a key system. That's when we found out that the base Cherokee has a 6-channel radio. So the factory radio powers the dash, the doors, and the rears all on their own channels. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah. How do you set gains if you have an EQ? Same way you'd set them if you didn't have an EQ. Most of the time when you're EQing, you pull down, not up. So really doesn't, if you're doing DSP gain setting, that's a whole different animal. That I don't really worry about the gains too much until the very end. So I tune the system and then I go back and look at the gains. Especially if you're doing OE integration, it's almost pointless to set the gains in the beginning because you have no idea of knowing what that is at, meaning you don't have any clue of like what the factory EQ is set to. So if you're just doing like, I'm going to do 40 hertz and 1,000 hertz, well, there might be no bass at 40 hertz, and 1,000 hertz could be to the ceiling or pulled all the way down. So tuning the car first and then going back and worrying about the gains is the modus operandi. Ooh, big words, stupid. I know, right? That was deep. That's what we typically do. Not the current Alpine R-type speakers, the ones before. What are your thoughts about them? We use those a lot. That's probably the ones we use the most. The new ones haven't even really done anything with. The old ones, use them all the time. Cherokee, yep. What's up, Angel? Hopefully I'm going to finish my install. That would be great. I mean, you got enough time. JL and F-150 10-inch woofers platinum. Go for it. Those are fine. That'll get the job done. How do you set amp gains if you... Oh, yeah, I got that one. Okay. So, we saw it. 2017. 50. Yeah, I love 50 hertz. 50 hertz is just fun. Okay. Anyways, this show is brought to you by
MorelHiFi.com. You want a 6x9 component set with a 2.5 maybe?
No, I want an 8-inch.
You have an 8-inch?
It's not a 6x9. If you have a 6x9, you can put the 8-inch in.
That's what I was going to.
Yo, we gotta get...
You want a 6x9? No, you want an 8-inch.
Okay,
sorry. MorelHiFi.com. That's the place that you can find an 8-inch.
We just got those in stock, by the way.
Oh,
yeah, we got them in. Yeah, they came in today.
If you need one, please go.
Yeah, give Paul a call. Or go to any one of your Morel dealers.
And get yourself a 8-inch with a bracket, everything, plug and play for your Chevy, for your Toyota.
Yeah.
Toyota's coming.
Toyota's coming. Yeah, it still works. Still works.
Beautiful.
I'm not going to hook it up to anything. No, I mean, it's 8 years old. It's 8 years old. It's an 8-year-old subwoofer that's just been sitting there, letting the elements go to work on it. It's got a pretty good life. You know? So, anyways, tonight 6:30, Brad and Brian, Arc Audio. Check it out. Till then, what's that?
B&B.
B&B. You guys have a wonderful day. See you. Bye. Good day, everyone. This guy's done. This is the F-150. We talked about this yesterday. We showed you the 901.5 that is going to power the system. Is installed in place. Custom amp rack that we make. CNC'd out. Perfect fit. Underneath the seat is our Fox box. So foxacoustics.com. This is the F-150. It has 2 Rockford P-Series woofers in it. I'll have to check which one. I don't even know which ones. Might be P3s, could be P2s. Anyways, plug-wise, we make our own. We take his off, and we put our own on. So we have our custom-made. So what this does is it's got an XC90 and it just plugs right in, makes it super easy to take in and out the box if you need to, and it's just not wires just hanging out looking all silly. So box is in place, lots of bass. She had some KS speakers in here, so she's got KS 6.5s in the back for the kicker, KS 3-way 6x9s up front. I think that's a KS tweeter as well. I'm not sure. And then they had a KS 3.5 in the center of the dash. Lots of sound. And then this is the new float screen. So So this is the direct replacement float screen. Now, for those of you that are F-150s or you hate float screens, whatever, it's fine. But you have to understand, this is the factory radio. And this float screen allows you to keep your factory bezel, and it comes through that little tiny 3.5-inch hole right there behind the radio. So the way the dash kit works is it gives you the ability to mount, and then this screen attaches to it. So you don't have to buy the big expensive dash kit with all of the fun stuff that's associated with it. So what's up, Bobby? So this comes in, looks super nice. We've tucked it into the dash. It comes with a whole bunch of mounts to get it in and out and angle it and whatnot. So it's pretty cool, and I'll show you what I mean. So, of course. So it comes with a whole bunch of these little guys here of different shapes, sizes. Some of them are wedges, some of them are super thick. And what you do is you stack these behind it. There's a pocket for these to go into, and then this lines up, you put the screws in it. And so what we ended up doing is we ended up putting the wedges in so that it pushed the bottom out but kept the screen in, because the screen you can move back and forth like we just saw. So you can still move the screen any direction you want, but we wanted to get the bottom kicked out because of the way the dash sits. That way we get a little bit more rake on it, and I wanted it to go down just a little bit further so that it sits right above these guys here, so that you can, I mean, not that you need to get to them. I think they do, I think they do some, I programmed them. You can program these 4 buttons, and you can program these 5 buttons. So this is you don't have to use an RR2, but if you do use an RR2 has 3 MPOs, or Maestro programmable outputs, and you can program these to do your MPOs if you want. So that is one cool feature. But like, let's see, so if you press the button here, waiting for connection to device, so that would be, this takes us up to our gauges page. This one takes us over back to the home screen. Let's see, this one is our car features, vehicle info. Now this page is really cool. Okay, so when we got the car in, she's got a picture of her boyfriend here, so we'll put him out of the way. This check, okay, so the car's not running, so all your lights are on, but the check engine light was on. And so this automatically populates and tells us you have a check engine light. And if you tap it, which you don't need to now, it will tell you what the code is. Now, the reason why it had a check engine light is because Fernando found out this guy right here, something has chewed the wiring off. So literally they chewed the wiring off of this. It was cut. It was just sitting here. The 2 wires were touching. So this whole piece here was shorted out. And so what we did is we took it all apart. We soldered in 2 new wires, soldered it all back together. So now it is actually in place. This is like this is a vapor, according to the check engine light, this is kind of a vapor gateway for off gas, all the emissions crap. So this is emissions sensor that it looked like a rat or something, squirrel, cat, who knows, got in here, chewed this up. So we fixed it. And when we turned the car back on, of course our radio popped up with the code. And, which it won't go to, but it has a reset feature. So this has a full OBD2 scanner in it. It'll tell you the codes, and it allows you to clear the check engine light because we fixed the problem. So now if we start the car, no more check engine light because we fixed the problem. Now, just so we're clear, I am no mechanic. I don't fix people's cars. That was an obvious problem. Like, we saw that there was 2 wires that were chewed up by a varmint, so it was easy enough to fix that. But no, I am no mechanic, so we are not mechanics too, okay? That is not a normal thing. That was just like, oh crap. And a lot of times you're going through the car and you'll see strange things, and that the customers definitely don't. Most of the time you notify the customer and whatnot. In this case, it was like, let's just solder these 2 wires back together and call it a day, which worked out in the end. Sometimes that shit bites you in the ass. So anyways, back to the radio. Put my head beam on here. So you can program these. This is our home button. Now the other one down here, this is a mute button, so you can hit the eject if it's got an eject, and this will bring up mute. So it just popped up mute. I like having some fun, kind of a mute on a radio, just so I don't have to, going through drive-through or something. You can hit a button, so you can program any of these. You get the idea. But anyways, this is it. This is the new Kenwood 1050 float. And what makes it different than a 1058 is there's no way to attach this screen to the radio box. The box is actually down here where the factory radio would be. It mounts down here in the dash, and it has two cables that come up and attach. Now, when you buy a 1058, it has really short cables, and it all screws together. This does not do that, so it doesn't give you the option. There's no reason for it. So there you go. That is that. And then it has a new feature, which is pitch and roll. So we can tap through here. So we got a pickup truck. So now we got tap and roll. We shake the car. It doesn't do anything. But anyways, you get the idea. Tells us we're in park. Tells us we're flat. We're 1 degree. That's pretty good. So definitely a big update for this vehicle. Right now it's on color scan. We can change it to orange if we want. We're just gonna leave it on color scan because it looks cool and it shines a light down here. So these LEDs, they are open on the back, so there's a clear piece right here, so it shines down. Just a nice little feature. All of the float screens do that. Kenwood JVC. Okay, so that is done. All right, so amplifier check, speakers are hooked up. Everything's good to go. So that is that. So if you have one of these Fords, older Fords, now it works on any Ford that has that little tiny radio in the dash. So if you've got one of the cars, Explorers, doesn't matter. If you've got this little screen right here, if you got this little guy right here in your dash, and you don't want it anymore, and you don't want to pay for the big expensive kit, you can do it. You can do that. JVC makes a screen as well. I think, yeah, JVC makes a screen, and Kenwood both make a screen. So JVC is a little bit cheaper because it's not Exelon. But either one allows you to do that. It's pretty cool. So that's the new float screen, finally installed. Finally got one of them to come in, and we're all set. Now, as far as what else is going on in the Bay, honestly, I have no idea. Fernando is here today. However, his father-in-law just broke a strut on his car. Crazy, right? And so he went to go pick him up because that is the right thing to do. So he's over there. He just left to do that. So he'll be back in a little bit. Last night we had the guys from Arc Audio on. So we had Brian and Brad. The Morel speaker towers are sitting right here right now. We haven't had a chance to hook them up. All the new Morel stuff. A couple weeks ago we were working on putting a set of these in an F-150. Now they make the F-150 speakers, but I'm refining the bracket because I really like the way the bracket looked, and I want one to just kind of show. So I've been spending a lot of time on and off in my free time working on that design, trying to speed up the process of how I want that design to look, and playing with that. Really, that's about it. Nothing too exciting. Gonna make a couple brackets on this today. Hopefully we'll get that done. So fire up the 3D printer and get those printed out. It's a boring Tuesday, man. It's just a boring Tuesday here in the Bay. Hopefully tonight we'll get to run the Elites through at least the 4-channel that we have hooked up through the dyno. so that we can do that unboxing video. That's my plan. My plan for today. We'll see how today goes, because every time I say my plan, it always goes to crap. My plan tonight is to film the Elite so you guys can see this tomorrow. Hoping, because I really want to get that out before we take our Christmas hiatus, because it's kind of been here a minute, and I just want to get it out. That's kind of where it is. So we're gonna break it down in a couple different videos. So we're gonna do, I think we have 3 amplifiers, so we'll do all 3 in an individual video. It makes it easier to search, and it's way more fun to watch. Reasons why a system sounds choked, like the sound and bass don't open up like strained, etc. So there's a lot of reasons that could be doing that. However, there could be a simple problem. It could be there is a polarity issue, which is causing a phasing problem. They're 2 different things. What I would suggest is fading it to one speaker and seeing how that one speaker sounds. If the one speaker sounds correct, fade it to another speaker and see if that one sounds correct. If you're on one speaker and it sounds like crap, then that's a signal issue, meaning there's something wrong with whatever it is you're getting your sound from. So an amplifier, a radio, bad set RCAs, something weird going on. But you have, okay, so the key to troubleshooting is isolation. Isolate the problem, meaning when you're just listening to a big sound and you have a problem, you can't figure out what it is because there's too many things happening at once. So you need to isolate the issue, meaning you need to get to the lowest common denominator and start troubleshooting from there. So, if, for example, when we first fired this up, this speaker, I was like, what the hell's going on? We knew it worked because we had to rewire these when we first put them in, or when we first got it in. So we immediately, once we rewired them, we turned it on, made sure they worked. So we knew they worked. So we knew the speaker was good. So we knew from the radio wiring to here was good. That meant it was something else. Now, the first thing we did was we played the passenger side. Passenger sounded great. The rear passenger sounded great. Rear driver sounded great. This one sounded like crap. Okay, so we isolated the issue. We knew it was just this speaker. Okay. So I just pulled, we hadn't put the radio back together, so I pulled the radio brain out, and it turned out there was an RCA, this one, that wasn't plugged all the way in. It, moving things around, it came loose. So I said, oh, well, that sucks. Pushed it back in, it worked fine. Then, after we did that, we said, all right, well, don't want that to happen again, so we put shrink wrap over all the RCAs so that because these new radios, they're pigtails, instead of plugging directly into the back of the radio. I hate those. But it's okay, it's cool. That means it unplugs and plugs, so we still have we can put heat shrink on the RCAs and put them together, and then we can unplug them and plug them still. So that's cool. So we shrink wrapped it all together, and now we don't have that problem. So isolation. So if you fade it to this speaker and everything sounds right, and you fade it to that speaker and everything sounds right, but you play them both at the same time and it sounds terrible, heat shrink, not shrink wrap. I'm gonna always call it heat shrink, or I will never call it shrink wrap. Or I'll never call it shrink wrap. I'm going to call it whatever I want because I don't care, and we all know what I'm talking about. And this drives people crazy, and I know it does, which doesn't make it any easier, but it's all right, Frank. It's all right, because we all know what I mean. So, anyways, so if you fade it to that side and it works, you fade it to this side and it works, you fade them together and it sounds like garbly mess, then that's probably a polarity issue. The other thing, too, is isolation. Another case we ran into is play them all at the same time, sounds like crap. Fade it here, it sounds good. Fade it there, it sounds good. Fade them both, sounds like crap. Turns out that speaker's basket was grounded to the frame of the car, and so the extra resistance when they were both playing was causing an issue for us. Strange things, but you have to isolate out the problem to figure out where to go from there. Now, if they all make crappy noise, then go back to wherever your source unit is. Maybe you have a crappy source. What's up, Johnny? And doesn't it wrap it all up anyways? You heat it up and it wraps it. I mean, I know the technical term is heat shrink, but I mean, it's wrapping it up. So, I mean, I could call it shrinky dink. I mean, if you look at every video I do, I always call it the wrong stuff. It's kind of funny at this point. Okay. I don't know what else. That's it. I mean, it's like I said, it's just a boring Tuesday. Sunday or Saturday, we'll have Jeff Smith on. It's heat shrink here in Arizona. Everything shrinks in Arizona. It's so goddamn hot. Except for today. It might be cooler today. I know, it is heat shrink. I just don't ever call it that. It's just one of those things, man. I mean, we all have things that tomato, that whole phrase there. It's what it is. I mean, it's just, nobody's perfect. I mean, I could say y'all. I do live in the South. I feel like I get permission to say that, but I don't. I'm from the North. All right. Don't forget when you... All right. I've thought of something interesting. Shrink wrap is for securing products to pallets and shipping. Yeah, you're right. It does. That's also what it's called. It's also for securing RCAs behind radios, apparently, according to Dean. Look, guys, this is just going to be one of those things, you know. I think by now we all know I call it shrink wrap. You know, could call it shrinking. Okay, so there was a debate on the Kicker forum the other day where somebody was complaining about ground wires, and everyone chimed in. Everybody chimed in. And the guys that were talking about F-150s, like in an F-150 you go to the battery, and then there was the guys that say, oh, I never go to the battery in the F-150, and blah, 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 blah. So here's the deal. And there was a couple guys on there that say, I only run grounds and boats. So this is F-150. It's aluminum. So basically what we got here is a bass boat or a sea arc or an aluminum fishing boat. And nobody would ground an amplifier to an aluminum fishing boat, right? No one would do that. They'd just run a ground. This is an aluminum fishing boat. That's all this is. This is just an aluminum fishing boat. You run a ground to the battery, okay? You could, I mean, if we're following the logic that everyone has, we could, in an aluminum fishing boat, ground the battery to the aluminum fishing boat, which they probably do just for, like, you know, bad things happening. I don't know, maybe electrolysis, who the heck knows? But we're not going to use that as a chassis ground for the amplifier. Power and ground wire are exactly as important. The reason why we don't run a ground wire is because it's expensive. So if you have it cuts down on cost. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, it just cuts down on cost. If you have a 4-gauge if you have a 4-gauge power, you need a chassis that provides the equivalent of a 4-gauge ground, okay? So the two have to match. So if you are running a 0-gauge power back to the amplifier, the chassis of the vehicle, the frame, the body, this metal has to provide the equivalent conductivity of a 0-gauge between the amplifier and the battery. That's what has to happen. So if you run a 0-gauge power and you run a 0-gauge ground, that's all you need. You've accomplished the thing. See you, Frank. Have a good day. So it doesn't there's no argument there. You know, Kicker don't do ground more than 24 inches. That makes absolutely no sense. You can do ground as long as it's the power. If you have 17 feet of power, you can do 17. You can do 18. This actually has 19 feet of power. Oh my God, 20 feet of ground. Oh Jesus, what are we gonna do? How's it gonna live? It's insanity. Okay, my new amp fuse keeps blowing. I've checked the continuity on the ground and the positive, and all is good. Do you think the amp is faulty? I don't know. So, why does a fuse blow at a battery, or is it blowing at the battery or at the amplifier? That's a good question, because if it's blowing at the amplifier, that's protecting the power supply in the amplifier. That means that there's probably something wrong with the amplifier or whatever the amplifier is connected to. If it's blowing here at the battery, that is a different problem. So that is either the fuse at the battery is not capable of passing the amperage that the amplifier is drawing. So for example, if you have an amplifier that draws 100 amps of current and you have an 80 amp fuse, you may blow that 80 amp fuse, especially if it's a sub amp. A high amp you never would, but a sub amp you may, because you're drawing 100 amps through an 80 amp fuse, that'll blow. Second, if this fuse underneath the hood here is somehow, somewhere in the vehicle, shorting to the chassis of the car, the frame of the car, the metal in the car, we don't want a similar confusion as shrink wrap and heat shrink. So if it's touching somewhere in the vehicle, now a lot of people, we know this because we fix them, will run through the firewall and they'll pull out the rubber grommet and they'll pull their wire through it, and then they'll pull the grommet back in, and you'll pinch the wire between the chassis frame, the metal, and the wire, and you'll start to create a crease. And as the wire heats up, it could touch that metal and blow the fuse. And when it cools off, it disconnects. But those are really it. That's all. That's the only reason why this guy would blow. So, yeah. Hi, Dean. How difficult is it to integrate into a hybrid vehicle these days? It really just depends. I would just look at, like, Teslas are interesting. There's definitely a lot on the internet about doing that. Hybrid means that there is a engine, like an engine and a battery, 12-volt battery, and then there's another battery in the back, and the engine is usually a generator. Those aren't that difficult. As long as you do a normal size system, they're fine. If you're going to do an abnormally large system, then batteries are a good idea, just like any situation. Now, if we're doing a full electric vehicle, then you have a little bit to look at. There again, batteries usually help. It can get to be a lot of fun. Check your ground. Well, yeah, I mean, there again, power and ground are equally as important. So when voltage goes down, amperage goes up. So if you had, okay, so like Benjamin there says, by the way, hi Benjamin. If you have a loose ground, so let's say we grounded this amplifier in the back here, and we have a loose ground back here, and that loose ground is giving us a lower voltage. Okay, so instead of getting the 13.5 volts because we have a crappy ground, we're only getting, let's say, between 9 and 10 volts. So at 9 and 10 volts, that means that amplifier that is normally drawn, let's say 80 amps of current, is now could be drawn anywhere between 100, 110, 120 amps of current, because when the voltage goes down, the amperage draw goes up, which is going to pop that fuse because you're trying to draw more amperage through it than the fuse is rated for. So that would be why you could have a blown fuse from a bad ground. So I've seen people that have run 4-gauge powers and 8-gauge grounds that are short, and they're like, it's perfectly cool. Not you, but just in general. And you're like, power and ground are equally as important. That doesn't matter. Whatever is happening on the power, the ground has to match. Now, in the past, with vehicles that were metal and welded together and not plastic bond or metal bonded with goo and stuff like that, yeah, it was fantastic. But these newer vehicles, not so much. Like at a Tahoe, if you check your resistance in the back of the car with your voltmeter to the battery, there's a huge amount of resistance in the back of the vehicle, because the battery, all of the crap that you've used to build the car, by the time you get back there, the resistance is way higher than it needs to be. So if you ground it in the back of the car, you're going to lose voltage by the time you get to the front of the car. So, you'll meter the battery and it'll be like, hey, I got 13.5. You'll go to the amplifier and it's got like 12.8. You're like, what the hell? And if you were to move the ground more forward in the vehicle, you'd see the amperage go up. That's why I did the big 5. Oh, it's the big 5 now. I like the big 5. That makes more sense, Bobby. It really does. But some vehicles we can't. We can't do that. Because it does bad things to the vehicle. So, because then a lot of these newer vehicles are really smart that way. But yeah, these Fords are not that smart. They're actually kind of dumb. They're kind of annoying more than anything, but I love them. Okay. No, it's not my ground. They're good. Okay. Resistance is futile. That's actually pretty good, Sue. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Well, there again, if you want to check your grounds, the easiest way to do that is to grab a digital multimeter. So if you want to check your ground point to where your battery is, you can do that. And of course, you want it to be as close to zero as possible. But for those of us that are like, I would love to do that, how do I do it? So set your voltmeter to ohms. Take your 2 test leads. So this is the important part, is obviously this isn't going to be long enough to go from the front to the back. So you're going to have to extend one of them. Before you're putting them together, make sure you test them together and see what resistance is being created by the test leads, because there's always going to be a certain amount of resistance tested that is going to be here. So you want to make sure that you have, like, so this is giving us this. So we want to make sure we subtract that from whatever we're getting. So if we know this is a dead short, according to our meter, we want to be as close to this number as possible so that we get an accurate read. So, and the reason why it does that is because, you know, these are probably crappy leads or whatever. Now, if you go here, see, that shows a different, that's just showing continuity. This is showing ohms or true resistance, so to speak. There we go. Anyways, you can, let's say if I wanted to, now what it won't show is how much amperage can come over that. Oh, look, he's back. Dude, that was creepy.
I never left.
Yeah, whatever. So there is ground points as we've shown here on this car. So if we measure between here and all the way up here at the battery, we might get a really good number. But it's not going to be, because the system's not on, meaning we're not bumping it, so to speak. So it's going to be a false read on that part. So you want to turn the system on, I guess. You made it back. Where was he? Was he close by?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
But I have something to tell you.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on.
What am I hanging on
Look
to?
at this. I just want to show you this.
Talk about Bluetooth speakers?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. But this is very interesting. This is hot?
I don't know. No, it's off. You can put it away.
This is really cool, right?
Is it?
It has a Morel.
Dirty grill.
Yeah, of course. But it has a Morel signature.
Red probably wasn't the best color of choice for the install day.
You want it.
I know. Well, I was hoping to get more than one.
Anyway,
I could take it home.
Right now, if you go to morelhifi.com, you can get 2 of this.
They have
for
a
the
sale?
price of 1.
Really?
Exactly.
No kidding.
Yes. So buy 1, get 1 free.
Buy one, give one?
Yes. So now you have your true stereo, because this one you compare 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they sound amazing. So
look
go
how
to Morel
excited
Hi-Fi.
Mickey is. Mickey's so excited.
Yeah?
Just to hear that, he's just like,
Cool.
I moved my hand, guys. I'm sorry.
You could, come on.
I know.
Morelhifi.com. This is the place that you can find the biggie. That's right.
It kind of blends in with the ugly mat that we have it sitting on.
Okay, so let's
Or if you don't want to do that, because you're like, chump, go buy your set of self a 3-ways. In this case, these are the Census. You can go over to Parts Express, pick yourself some of the Dayton 3-ways, get yourself a laser or a 3D printer, and make some adapters. Then head over to Audio Control Home, pick yourself up a Rialto, and a Bluetooth streamer, and then you'll have a set of Tower Bluetooth speakers.
Boom. What do you think about that?
I think the Biggie's probably a better idea.
Oh, the biggest better idea.
Now, the Biggies can be set up as left and right.
Stereo.
Yeah, so you can do them stereo. It's pretty cool. We only have one, so we're not stereos. We had the Hagtalars set up as stereo.
Yeah.
Because you have one at your house, and Sue's using the Hagtalar at my house. Mm-hmm. So.
Are you house?
Well, I mean, technically, I guess it's her house at the moment. Yeah, whatever.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah. So, all right, listen, this show's dragged on long enough. I'm sorry, we made it enough time for Fernando to get back, cut a promo. Hope we learned something here today, guys. I doubt it. I did. I already did. It's all good. Any knowledge on when Toyota will be added to the direct replacement lineup? Actually, yes. Mm-hmm. I talked to them yesterday.
Yeah?
You'll be happy to know that it's not anytime soon.
Really?
No.
Come on.
No, it's not. There is another car manufacturer that will be coming out before Toyota because they've had no love from anyone at all ever. So this company that's going to be coming out is going to come out before Toyota. It sounded to me like end of the year, like 2026.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, though.
Well, so there's a lot to do with the new Toyota stuff.
Yeah?
And they have it slated for later in the year.
What car is more popular
Than a
than the
Toyota?
Toyota?
The car that everyone has been asking for. So we're going to get radio replacements for all of those.
I'm
and
just
then,
wondering which one.
so we're going to get the radio replacements first. And then we'll get, as they're finished, they're still working on the amplifier interfaces.
Yeah.
But they're really close. They have a plan. They have a plan.
Of course, everybody has a plan.
They have a good plan. They have a better plan.
Not a good one, but everybody has a
So,
plan.
anyways, Toyota's is gonna be late. I know, it sucks.
Yeah.
They need more
So
employees.
Santa Claus is not coming.
Santa Claus is not coming to town.
Until next year.
It's kind of bummer. But it will be sometime next year. Just it is going to be cool, though, some of the stuff that they were talking about. Like, they have a plan. Like, they're working on it, but there's other things that are falling in front of it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
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 Ooh. You know. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Can I see, I don't even know if I can tell you this stuff.
What?
You know that Ford, you know the Bronco with the stupid little screen in it?
Yeah.
That sucks?
Yeah.
It's a direct replacement. Right? Get rid of that crap, like put a radio on a freaking Bronco. Yeah, that would be cool. It's coming.
Well, I mean, Stinger is gonna come out with that.
Dude, Honda, Sue's just like throwing names out
Subaru. I like it. We have a 4.
there. Yeah. No, she was right the first
Honda?
guess. She was right on the first guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subaru.
But,
What happened with her Subaru?
oh, she still wants it.
Yeah?
Oh, hey, you know what? Found out this weekend.
What? You gonna
Apparently-
get one?
Well, at some point, I'm sure. They cosmetically changed the back. She tells us this weekend. The sticker where it says Outback it's now like the Palisade where it says Palisade across the back. And Haley had the best comeback for that, which I can't repeat on here. But I go, okay.
Yeah.
She's on fire today. She is on fire.
This girl is on fire. Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been a singer though.
You could have not been a singer. Is there an aftermarket screen solution for the newer 2023 Toyota Highlanders? Probably. It's 2023. I feel like that's not a big deal. Maybe. I don't know.
2020.
So, listen, as long as there's a harness for the Toyota, that is all we need. All right? We can make the dash kits for them. We're not, because most of them are just floating screens anyways, or back-mounted floating screens, meaning they're just big screens and holes, or small screens and holes. And we can make the brackets for those. We've already done that in a lot of the Camrys and stuff like that. So it's not a big deal. Pretty sure we can all guess Haley's comeback. I mean, she is your daughter. Man, wow. Man, she's just throwing up shade today. Still need something for this damn Audi Q5 2012. Buy another car.
Audi?
Yes. Just buy another car.
Like T-harness?
Yeah, like anything. Nobody makes anything for Audi.
Well,
I mean, okay,
no,
I take
not
that back.
really.
Spiral audio would be the only thing that had anything for Audi. Like, if anybody was going to have something for an Audi, it'd be Spiral Audio.
Yeah.
What company?
Change Spiral.
Have you looked at Spiral Audio yet? Anything German, that's where we go. We just go to Spiral Audio. So they're like the oddball company that.
Yeah, but you can change speakers and everything, though.
Yeah, but the source sucks. It's 2012, man. He wants a new radio.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Why not? Like I said, a lot of times, listen, if we can get an interface, we're good.
If you're not,
wow, it's funny. She said Subaru and a Subaru. Yeah, okay. Wife loves the thing. I can't get rid of it.
which is get a new one.
Yeah, check Spiral. There you go. I mean, get a new wife. It's not a terrible idea. I mean just saying. I mean, it's an old car. It's probably an old wife. Just get a new one. We had that conversation this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, yeah, no, it's I'm a one and done kind of guy. If you want to go, I'll just pay you a secretary fee or something to manage my life.
don't leave me.
No, you can leave. I just you know. Oh shit, she heard that.
No, hang on.
No.
We're talking about the car.
We're talking about the car, man.
Exactly.
Come on, keep the wife.
Oh, yes.
Gotta keep the wife. Oh God.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
look, man, I've been married for 30 plus years. It's what it is.
What are you trying to say?
I'd say you can't take a joke, but she can't take a joke, so she's over there yelling at her phone right now. Yeah. So much crap. Well, this show's jumped the shark as usual. Listen, we're gonna end it here because
we're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm already in trouble as it is. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Don't
Thinking
forget,
of 3D printer is a suggestion of learning Fusion 3.
Don't forget Saturday,
Jeff Smith. If you're thinking about getting a 3D printer, obviously we use the Bamboos. Love them. The sale just ended, so that kind of sucks. You missed out on that. If you want to learn how to use...
by the end of the...
I have no idea. Maybe the sale's still on. Check out Tinkercad. Fusion 360 is great. It's also a huge learning curve. Tinkercad is made by the same people that make Fusion. It's a lot easier to use. It's a lot more fun. Tons of videos out there that'll walk you through making some of the cool stuff at your house. Check out Tinkercad. You guys have a great day. Bye.
Ah, damn it, dude.
What?
So people can think like that. We're froze.
No, that's why I'm moving around, because I don't want people to think that.
That's the idea.
I know, it's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea. It's the end of the day. The cars are gone. Yay. That's all I got to say. Yay. All right. So check this out. One of the projects we've been working on in the background, between cars and stuff like that. In case you didn't know, on January
2nd,
23rd through the 26th, Mobile Solutions is having a hot rod training. That's where you go and you learn, like,
tricks.
It's not working on hot rods. You're a hot rod, so you're gonna learn all the tips and tricks and learn how to do all the cool fab stuff. So it's the big fab class where you get to do all kinds of everything. So it's not just specialized. So anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Anyways, so I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be doing some stuff on like 3D and CAD and drawing and stuff like that. And so, hola! And so we've been working on some side projects, just like trying to get the class together. Plus, for those of you going to Master Tech, some of this will probably translate out to that when we do our class there. So if you can't make it to Mobile Solutions, you might be able to pick it up at Master Tech. And so let me flip this around. And it all came from this guy here. So this is what, Fernando?
This is a beautiful 8-inch Morel mid-bass. It's a mid-bass speaker.
Yes.
Yes.
And so what started all this is we had a set of these we had to put in an F-150. And so I was like, this is a great experiment that we can do a lot with, because anytime you want to teach somebody something, you try to come up with the most amount of hitting how black fingernail. Haley hates it. It's doing good though. We try to come up with the most that we can talk about. Like how do we do this? So pieces that are missing is I haven't cut the cardboard piece out yet. This is typically where we would start. So we start with a piece of cardboard because this allows us to fit it into the car and make sure everything works, and it's cheap. And it's fast, cheap and fast. Those are two optimum things there. And then when you're done with this, you guys have seen this before. It can turn into something like this. And so this is for a 6.5. So we're like, okay, that's cool. So the other day we put this into an F-150, as I said, and we made a 3D printed bracket. So we made something similar to this, not this. This is I'd like to say 2.0, but this is like 3.0. And we're actually working on 4.0 right now. So up front, because every time you do one, you go, I can change this, make it a little better. So this is printing right here. So that's 4.0. So that's the master. That's going to be the good one that like everything is perfect on. The problem with 3D printing is it takes 7.5 hours to kick something out. Okay, so if you screw up, start over at 7.5 hours. So that's not always the best way to do it, but this is the result of that. So this guy right here is where the plug gets epoxied in, and then this will just screw right onto the door, and this speaker drops right into it. Okay, so there's a certain amount of design that goes into this, and then, which we'll talk about in a second, and then there's this guy. So this is from here, CNC, so the dust is still there. So this takes, what did we say, 7 minutes? 7 minutes. This takes 7 minutes. It's either 7 or 11. I know, it's kind of strange, right? And so this is 2.0 on this, because 1.0, which is sitting over here, 1.0 is actually really cool. But 1.0 was smaller. Somehow I got the measurements wrong because I've been playing with this, and so this turned out to be a little short somehow. So as cool as this one was, this one got thrown in the trash because we needed a bigger to fill up the holes because we don't want air to leak out and all that stuff. So this guy, and so this, there again, it's countersunk in. All the screws. The reason why these look like this is because you want to retain those factory screw holes. Okay, and then this is merely here just so that this looks like a round speaker. This does absolutely nothing for anybody other than make the math more complicated. Same with this. This does absolutely nothing. It just fills this area in the hole that would be in the car. And there again, as complicated as possible. So it's like 2 layers, and as you can see from the side, like there's all this geometry to it that looks really slick as hell. All right, so
what 3D print did you use, man?
So right now we're using the P1S, which is the bamboo P1S. We have 5 of those. Question: what would you pick, Morel 8-inch or the Temp? I would pick the 8-inch for sure. Definitely pick the 8-inch. That's so neat. Arc Audio Falcon. Every time I turn the car on, the volume on the ARC controller is always turned up way over. If I turn it down before I turn the car off, it still does the same problem. Okay, simple solution. Call Brad or Brian at Arc Audio. There's probably a setting in the DSP that needs to be turned on. That's it. Just call them. They live to answer those questions. I don't know that one off the top of my head. I appreciate you thinking I might. I don't. We typically don't run controllers on them. I'm not a big fan of controllers, so we just use simple knobs. I like knobs. Knobs are cool. Knobs don't give me problems. But definitely call Brad or Brian on that. I'm sure there's a simple solution for it. They'll hit these 2 buttons. You'll be all set. Hello. Hey guys, Silverado with the Gately 8s are still bumping strong. You guys are the best in the business, thanks in my opinion. No, thank you. Remember that one?
Those.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
those.
good. That was a beautiful Gately box.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I got pictures of that. Okay. Any SQ Shell 10 or 12 you recommend?
Yeah.
Kicker.
L7.
Kicker makes the L7Ts.
Mm-hmm.
L7Ts all day long. The new Kicker 12. Okay, so back to this. It was a dramatic pause for effect. All right, so depending on what we're doing, we have there's 3 different pieces of software. So this piece of software is for the CNC machine. This is called easel. And the company Inventables that makes this, which is the X-Carve Pro, they're a software manufacturer. They also make tools, which is cool. So this can be used on a lot of different CNC machines. And what's nice is as you're designing the product here, it's creating it over here so you can make sure that you're not screwing things up, which is very helpful, because if you see it here, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So, and it's very accurate. So even to the point of where you can see this little curve right here, okay, which is this little curve right here, but you'll see it's not in the drawing. That just has to do with how the bit in here reacts. And so it's taking this, doing all its math in real time, and giving you a great representation of it. Even you can see, like, when you're designing how deep you want to make these insets, which are these here, you can see all this. All right. And so that's what this looks like in black and white. And this is as you're designing it and telling it in this pane right here, this one, what it's going to do. So there's that. All right. So then over here, this is the Bamboo software. This is what's called slicer software. So as you design things, it always round trips through this. So this is the first step before it goes off to the 3D printer. And the reason why it's called slicer is because you can literally take and slice your, like, all the way in. So you can see what it's doing, what it looks like, what all these, did you get it right? So you can go layer by layer through it to make sure that whatever you designed is appropriate and is the way you want it, and there's no like hidden things. So that's why it's called a slicer. But prepare is where you spend a lot of your time, because this is what sets it up for the product that you want to do. Now, a lot of people don't know that a Bamboo software is actually a build plate, meaning you can assemble things on this build plate. So if we come over here and we look at the assembly, this information here, these are all parts that go into it. So as I click on a part, it's going to highlight over here. So like that little guy is that, okay? And so I can take and I can bring parts into this, assemble them together, do some Boolean effects, do some stretch, tuck, pulls, and adjust, and I can create this shape, all right? So much so that, like, the little square on the side here for the plug, that's right there. Okay, so that was all assembled here in Bamboo Slicer, not in Fusion, not in Tinkercad or any of the other ones. This is all done right here in this. So this started out as a plate, and now it's this bracket right here. Now, that isn't to say we didn't do a lot of work to get here. So how did we do that? So that takes us over to our third application, which there's nothing on. Where did it all go? All right. So this here is our desktop. So this is where we're going to build out all our stuff. And this information right here is crucial information about this speaker, so that when we get this speaker, we can take all the measurements we need off of it and we can write them in here. So as we're building this out, I don't have to keep coming over and grabbing calipers and forgetting what I've done and all that other fun stuff. So it's nice just to put that in the top corner. Hey guys from Iowa, what's up, Iowa Mike?
Oh.
Any recommendation on a full system amp for 2018 F-150 with JL Audio Stealth Box and two 12 CW3s and a set of focal? I mean, you could be really easy on that one. Just go with a Key 500 and a Key 200.4. Or if you want to go next level, you could check out some of the DSP. Big fan of the Blackbird. You could use the Blackbird to power the whole system. Do front stage upgrade 1 and 2, mid bass 3 and 4, and then bridge the 2 subs on 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Full DSP, 1,000 watts of power. Be fantastic. If you go up to the Falcon, you can also add in rear speakers and more power to the mid bass. There's a lot of options you have with that. If you're looking to do non-DSP, Audio Control has 5 channels, both in the Epic and the Altitude lines. And of course, if you want to go full, like, you have Moscone which isn't out right now. There it is. There's Moscone. Normally I'd point to the 810 that's sitting over here. They also have a 610. They have an 810. I think they even have a 410 in the Pico line. But there's plenty to choose from for sure. Is the Arc Audio IR2 the replacement for the LR2? Yes, the LR2 is the replacement for the LR1. Correct. Okay, so back to this. So in this piece of software, this is Amidine. It is a Mac app, so MacBook Air. Okay, sorry, that's what we use. It's $25. Thank you, awesome. You're welcome. And so what we have here is we have a couple different folders. This allows us to folder what we're doing. So this is really cool. Most drawing apps will give you the ability to do this. There's nothing unique about this software that most like Corel Draw or anything from Adobe or any of those guys can do that this can't. You know, they're all basically the same. So anyways, what you're looking at here is basically all the geometry and math and all of the shapes that we need to create this. Okay, so we've created all of these. So you have, if you open up the folder on the side, then you can come over here and we can turn things off. And as we turn these things off, they start to go away. And we run into that right there. Now this is the basic bracket shape. So that's this, right? So this is where we start. We need this telemetry. And there's a couple different ways to get that. We won't talk about that right now. But from there, we need the inside and outside diameter of this. We need these screw holes and where they're gonna go. We need these screw holes and where they're gonna go. So you need all of this math. And as you start, we needed to do an outline so that we could create this shape right here, this little lip. And then this is the outside of the shape. And then you have inside lip, that's this lip right here. And then you have another inside lip, that's an offset for when you're CNCing. Screw holes, that's another top main frame lip. And then if we come all the way down here, this adds in a ton of all of the little screw holes and stuff. Okay, so all of this stuff is what we're looking at. So we need all of this. Okay, and that's overwhelming. Like, that's ridiculous, right, Fernando?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going, I don't know what you're doing.
That's just freaking circles, though.
It's just circles. It's all circles. It's a ton of circles. So what we do is once we have all of this math, then we're going to decide, are we going to be doing a 3D print or are we going to be doing a CNC print? In this case, we did both. So now we have our CNC folder that's over here, and we click on that, and this comes up. And so what this tells us is we can, hold on, let's get rid of that. Okay, so there we go. So that is, this Ronald McDonald looking thing is the CNC folder. And so what you do is you copy and paste out of your master folder into the CNC folder the shapes that you're going to need. So we're going to need that outside shape. We're going to need this outside basket shape. We're going to need a couple of these holes. We're going to need the inside, outside of the basket. So we can do the countersink. And then as you color them, when you're looking at those are colored, those are going to be seen as takeaways, solids that need to come out of your design. So if you go back here, we can see those colors now. So this was the yellow McDonald part here. This was the red trim ring here. These are the divots. You can't really see, but they are, it's a light gray, dark gray. They don't allow you to do anything other than gray tones here. But those that we just looked at, it all translates out. And so this is the information. Now you have to stack them in order. So when you open up the CNC, oh, well, what happened there? I don't want to do that. When you open up the CNC list, if you notice the colors are down here at the bottom. And the reason why is because you need to do the lines first and then the solids second. So there's a layering of which comes first, which comes last, so that the CNC knows what it's doing. Now it'll take all that information and figure out how it wants to do it. But when you're designing it, it needs to go in a certain order just to make your life easier. So there's your CNC artwork. Let me shut that off. And then we can come down to the 3D parts. So this is the 3D parts. There again, colors and shapes. And you export this and you open this in the bamboo slicer. Now, the one thing that it won't do in this, because this is a 2D, so this gets us all our 2D math. But we wanted this side effect right here. So this side effect is actually created in another app, which is Tinkercad, which you can go and open a Tinkercad membership. It's free, it's online, and there's a tool inside of Tinkercad. So this is it, fantastic. Oh, Frank, is that it? Yeah. Yeah, that was it. So this is it here. So this is a basic shape, and how you create this is using what's called a revolve tool, which is available in Fusion 360 and Tinkercad and a couple others. Fusion 360 is who makes Tinkercad. Okay, so we created this shape, and then we exported it out as an STL, and we can bring it into our slicer, and then we can merge that shape with all the other shapes, and then you create this. Now, the revolve tool is the same tool that we were showing you a couple weeks ago when we were making bass knobs. So the revolve tool allows you to make cool bass knobs, because it just, you create an outline, and then it just turns it into a circle. So a donut is basically a circle. It's two circles. So we created a donut using the revolve tool. So we went all the way out to as far as we needed it. So what this inside edge was, this one. And if you notice, this is tapered, but we wanted this to stay flat. So in order to do that, you have to do a subtraction, which is really fun. But that gets added into the slicer, and that is this piece right here. And then all of this gets merged together, and there you go, you have that cool shape. Now these three programs, these three things are what allow us to make all of these cool things. And some of it is super fast and some of it isn't. Anyways, you guys asked how we do this, and there again, this is just a quick overview. So if you have a 3D printer, you have an Apple machine, this is really easy software to use. There's a ton of other tricks, obviously, that we can show you, and we will. But those we're going to reserve for if you go to Mobile Solutions or Knowledge Fest. You suck, Dean. Why would you do that to me? And then, of course, you can go and learn how to do Mickey. It's 3D printed. It's drawn. Drew the whole thing. Yep. Pretty cool. So, all right, guys. That's it. That's our tutorial for today. This is like, where's Bobby, right? Because Bobby would be like, pro tip of the day. I don't know any better pro tip than that. So, you guys just hopefully, there again. The expectation of you remembering everything I just told you is next to impossible. However, what I like to tell people is knowing that you can do something, but not remembering how is okay. Because as long as you know that you can do it, you can figure out the how. I know it's kind of weird, doesn't make any sense, but the reality is this is the result. You know you can get there. You'll figure out how to do it because you know it's achievable. I like walking on a thin line and going, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. Love the videos. Please help me with this. I need to figure out how to put Android Auto on my XOU8 Alpine radio. So Android Auto is built into the radio or it's not. So I don't remember which one that one was. So it has to do with the phone, because Android Auto is when you attach a phone to it. That's how you get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Let me see something here. X008U Alpine 8-inch navigation receiver. Why do I feel this is a really old unit? Built for iPad, iPhone. This is a really old unit. You can't. Unfortunately, there is no way to add. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Sitting here soldering some XT60s and forgot the back cap. Oh my God, that's the worst. It's the worst. I really love the back cap too. We didn't do those originally. Now I love them. Do the Arc RS 3.0 and the tweeter fit on a 2021 Mustang? With some work, yes. With some work, you could definitely get them to fit. Yeah, I mean, for sure. They're not going to snap in place. No, they're not. So on a Mustang, you definitely can't take the factory speaker out and put any speaker in, because the factory bracket for the Mustang pushes the speaker too far forward. So if you watch any of the videos we do on the Mustang, we show you that you have to make your own bracket and move the speaker back. So it also has a Neo Magnet on the RS3, so it'll definitely fit in the door, but you can't use their factory brackets. Now for the tweeter, you're going to run into the same thing. The tweeter will fit, but you're going to have to fab something. It's just, none of this is just going to go into place. So will it fit? Yes. Well, it's not easy though, but you could do it. I mean, what's up, Bobby? What's a good radio upgrade for a 2017 F350? I have the 8-inch. I want a big screen. So you have two options. If you want to go bigger than the factory 8-inch, obviously you don't want to do the direct replacement 8-inch because it would be the same exact size as you have now. But they also do the float screen, which is the, what is it, the 1050? So it's the 1050. The 1050 with the iData direct replacement kit is designed to go right into that. You can also use the 1058 and the MFT1 kit. Unless you want to go super big, in which case you're going to go on Sketchy Road, but the Sketchy Road would probably lead you to something like Linkswell. Linkswell makes the really big, like, Tesla screens. Outside of that, you're going to look at a 1050 or 1058 Kenwood. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. MorelHiFi.com is the place you want to go right now. They have a deal on biggies. So it's still time. Christmas is next week. Christmas is next week.
That's crazy.
If you want that Christmas present that's going to show up after next week, head over to MorelHiFi.com. Buy one, get one free on biggies. That's the cool Bluetooth speakers. Yeah. As long as the option still works. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, they'll go. If you're looking for a starting point on a mount for the Mustang door, Sounds Good Stereo does make a bracket. You may have to modify it a little, but they do make a bracket that looks just like this. Theirs is not 3D printed. Theirs is cut out of HDPE or whatever the heck it's called. But it's really nice. It just depends. What you have to pay attention to is how far in the speaker gets set, because you don't want the speaker when it moves to hit the door panel. So, but they do make one. The tweeter, you're on your own. All right, listen, guys, that's it. That's the time. We got to set up for tomorrow, which is the last news of the year. The last news of the year is tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And then, of course, Saturday, Jeffy Smith will be on. We're doing Jeffy Smith stuff. Yeah, that's it. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye. Hi, everyone. Yeah.
No. No bueno.
Happy Saturday. So normally Saturday lives are an interesting one. Like, we don't typically do them just because it's a short day, because we got to get ready for the show. But today we have to, because that's not a Mustang. This is a Grand Cherokee with a Macintosh system in it, and it's in today because somebody else did the install. When they turned the key off, it goes, whoa, the subwoofer in the back. And so it's a P300, needs a remote turn on. people that installed it didn't bother to run a remote turn on. Always run a remote turn on wire. You don't necessarily have to hook it up, but always run it, because you never know. In this case, you never know. So we're going to run a remote turn on, and not a big deal. It's simple, in and out, really quick. Fernando's like, as long as everything is done right, we can run a remote, everything will be great. Amazon, don't worry. I'm going to redo DNF tool drawer during the break. I'll put all this stuff up there, so it'll be up there soon enough. Just in case. Yes, exactly. Now, so check this out. So we're like, no big deal. Fuse box, got an accessory, on and off with the key. Couldn't get any nicer. Then I pull the kick panel. What the why would you do this? This is the power they ran, and then they just used this little speaker terminal to put a fuse, so there was 2 of those there. Why would you cut into the car's factory harness to do this? Okay? Now, you could say, oh, well, I didn't want to go through the firewall, or, oh, you know, I don't know, give me an excuse, I don't care. Here's the funny part. Underneath this seat right here, where Fernando was working, right there, guess what that is? That's the battery.
It is a battery?
That is the battery.
I thought that was the radio.
That is the battery. So, these morons, and I mean that in all niceness, these morons went past the battery to screw this guy's car up. Who does that? Like, so stupid. Like,
It is?
dumb.
Just
So
man.
dumb. Like, dumb. Yeah. So anyways, we couldn't pass that up. We had to show it to you guys, because didn't have to drill a hole. Didn't have to do nothing. Literally had to go under some carpet. How many of you guys would love to just go under some carpet? So stupid. And then they used Tessa tape. Okay. This is not an appropriate insulator for an electrical. This is not. No. Do not use this in a car. For one, it's just going to get hot and melt and goo and turn into shit, which is fine. But it doesn't, little wires, no, this is not a good idea. This is great for, and like this, like the factory's using, just like here. Goes over the wire and insulates, I don't know, basically just hides the color. There's the factory use of it here. But over an open circuit like this? No, for God's sakes, that's what the crappy 3M black tape that we've used all our lives is for. So stupid. And what I'm trying to do, because I'm sure they put like 6 wraps of it on here, because I cannot find the end. And I'm trying to see if they soldered it on, or if they just did a military splice. Knife. I'm gonna try not to hurt myself. All right, so let's cut it. Okay, all right, that's good. That's good. All right, I gotta set my phone down. This is why they invented Band-Aids. Well, I just saw a little piece of copper poking through. Oh. Okay. We're getting there. Alright, so it's a military splice on an 8-gauge wire. I don't think that's what they intended when they said military splice. Okay. Alright, well, here you have it. Macintosh amp, but installed by Complete Rigging. That's a factory Macintosh. It's not actually, so this is a factory Mac. So this little logo right here. So this is a factory Macintosh system. So, which is built by Alpine for Macintosh. I mean, it's like anything else, you know, design. Electric tape for the win. Hell yeah. Yes, it is a factory. So anyways, that's what's going on there. So obviously plenty of power wire. We're going to move it to where it needs to be. We're going to run our remote turn on back to the back and have the Rockford P300 turn on and off like it's supposed to. And that's it. That's what's going on. But tonight, 5 o'clock, it's just going to be Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith tonight. He's here in town, so he'll be live here with us, and he says he's got lots of goodies to talk about. So make sure to tune in at 5 o'clock. Band-Aid is what I thought. Yeah. Luckily I didn't cut myself yet, so we're good. Got all this sticky, gooey crap all over me, but that's besides the point. But tonight at 5 o'clock, Jeff Smith, YouTube. Make sure you're here. That's it. I'll see you then. Say bye, Fernando.
Bye, Fernando.
MorelHiFi.com. See ya.